Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to continue our discussion on the time series model using ARIMA, okay, which stands for Autoregressive Integrated Moving Average. So what are the objectives for today? To understand ARIMA components, understand their parameters. We're going to simulate, okay? So for now, we're not going to use an actual data. We're just going to create a data, and we're going to go through the process of doing ARIMA, okay? Performing stationary tests, doing the ACF, PACF, estimation, diagnostics, and forecasting. And then we're going to discuss the model limitations. So let's simulate a daily data, 365 days. Actually, uh, we'll assume that this is not a financial asset data, okay? So that we don't need to get really the log, because I think you know already that when we when we model time series, financial data time series, let's say asset prices, stock prices, what we model usually are the returns of the asset, not the absolute value of the prices. What we model are the returns. So to get the returns, class, there are two types of returns. You have discrete returns, okay, or simple returns, and then you have the continuous or log returns. So for log returns, class, of course, you have to get the log of the prices. So let's assume that these are not asset prices. Okay. So we already had this introduction to ARIMA. Okay, stands for Autoregressive Integrated Moving Average. Okay, and uh, simply put, you base your model of the time series on its past values. So we discussed last time what an ARP is, what an MAQ is. Okay. So for example, your model is AR1. It means that you're using the past lag one value in order to predict your current value. So the higher uh, the model, the fee value is, uh, the stronger is the impact of your past value on your data. Okay, so we also discussed differencing. Why do we difference? We difference because your data has to be stationary in order to use ARIMA. If our data is not stationary, then technically we cannot use the ARIMA model. So there's a need to convert your non-stationary data into a stationary data. If the data has a trend, one of the best way to convert or transform your data to a stationary data is to difference the data. So that's we discussed it last time, differencing. Okay, sometimes your data might have seasonality also. For seasonality, we have also what we call seasonal differencing. Okay, and of course, ARIMA model is not a perfect model. It has limitations. Number one, it assumes that there's a linear relationship between the past values and your current value. And then ARIMA will struggle with structural breaks. Okay, what do we mean by structural breaks? For example, what happened in the during the COVID period? Okay, so if you plot your data, chances are the structure of your data changed during the COVID-19 period. So for a particular period from, let's say, from February of 2020 up to April of 2021, your data would have behaved differently. So that's what we call a structural break. During the 2008 global financial crisis, if you plot your data would have experienced what we call a structural break. It's a change in the variance of your data. Okay, so when you have structural breaks like this, ARIMA is not able to capture that. Okay, hence what results, by the way, when we have structural breaks like this, is you have what we call volatility clustering. Okay, so you're going to meet that term, okay, several times. Okay, so you have your data, and then if you plot your data, for example, and volatility clustering behaves this way, maybe this way. Okay, so this is your data, and then there may be portions where you have what we call structural breaks, or these are volatility clusters. It's the tendency, if these are your returns class, it's a tendency for the returns to keep on going up, up, continuously going up, okay, or continuously going down. Okay, so data like this class, even after differencing, okay, ARIMA may not be able to capture this, okay, these structural breaks, these volatility clusters. Okay, so that's the limitation of ARIMA. So if you have a data like this class, then ARIMA will not really be a, let's say, a good model to use. And unfortunately, most of the financial time series data experiences this, especially during uh, periods where you have let's say crisis, okay, or you phenomenon like the global financial crisis during the Russia-Ukraine at this moment in time, Russia-Ukraine war, or your post-COVID post-COVID era. Okay, so ARIMA has limitations as far as this type of model, this type of data is concerned. So hence, we go to GARCH, okay, which is our next lesson. Okay, so by the way, GERT stands for Generalized Autoregressive. Notice the autoregressive is still here, class, consistent with your AR here. Conditional heteroscedasticity. So which means that when you plot, create your model, and when you plot the residuals, there is heteroscedasticity. Okay, and you're familiar with heteroscedasticity already. All right. So just a quick review. This is your AR process class. AR. This is AR1 and AR2. Okay. AR1, your time series, whatever it is, class, is equal to a certain constant plus log 1. So you can see y sub t minus 1. And this is your coefficient plus a certain error term. For AR2, you have log 1 and log 2. And we discussed last time that there are certain conditions about your parameters phi1 and phi2. Okay, if it's an AR2 class, phi2 here, the absolute value of that should be less than 1. Also, the sum of phi2 and phi1 should be less than 1, or phi2 minus phi1 should be less than 1. Okay? If you have a model where your, for example, your phi sub 2 is greater than 1, okay, then that will indicate that your time series is not stationary. Okay. So in general, an AR P series, P lag P class, okay, notice that your phi, which are your coefficients, take the lag, subscript nila. Lag 1, lag 2, lag 3. So if there are lag P, P lags, we have this phi sub P. And the lag before that is P minus 1. Okay? So it's always T minus 1, T minus 2. Okay, so this is T minus P minus 1. Okay. And we have your MA series, where it's based on where you model the past shocks of the data. Okay, we discussed this last time. I'll just go through this very quickly. This is your MAQ. And then you can have a both combination of an ARMA PQ, ARMA 11, So this is an ARMA 11 model, certain constant plus, this is the AR component, Phi1, okay? And then this is your MA component. If you have 2-1, then you have two components of your lag1, Phi1, Phi2, and one for your MA. Same thing with ARIMA 2, 2, 2. Okay? Phi1, Phi2, theta 1, theta 2. Okay, so this generic PQ. Okay, Phi sub P, lag P for your AR process, theta Q, lag Q for your MA process. Okay, so may I have a feedback from you, class, if we're clear so far? Very good, thank you. All right. So thank you so much, class. I'm happy that you understand the AR process, MA process. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to create simulation. So we're not going to use an actual data, okay, because if you know how to do this, class, if you know how to run the simulated data, you'll of course know how to run the actual data. So we're going to create a time series, okay? We're going to simulate a non-stationary. We're going to add trend and we're going to add seasonality. Trend will indicate a drift, no? Whether it's going up or going down, and seasonality we're going to simulate a repeating pattern. All right. So magsa-simulate tayo, class, ng ARIMA 111, okay? To generate. So which means, class, that we will create a data that has a trend or even seasonality. Kaya may differencing dito. Okay, so let's run these packages first. Let's make sure that these are loaded. Okay. Then let's use set.seed 123, and then let's use 365. Let's suppose this is the price of a commodity. Okay. So let's run this. Okay. Now take note, class. There's a function called arima.sim. Okay. So this is simulating a time series. So let's use a ARMA 11, class. So let's estimate the fee to be 0.7. Okay, so this means moderate persistence, and theta is equal to 0.4, also moderate shock memory. Because the theta, class, from the MA are shocks, prior shocks. Okay, all right. So let's create this object ARMA diff, and we're going to use the arima.sim uh, arima.sim which is to simulate. N is equal to N here. Okay, and then our model, let's list our model. Our AR component is 0.7, and our MA component is 0.4. Okay, let's use standard deviation is equal to 0.5. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, and then let's take a look first at let's um, plot ARMA. Let's first view it, class. ARMA diff. So it's a time series, class. 365. Let's get the head. ARMA diff. Let's get the first 10 observations. Okay. So it's a time series, class. So these are the values. Okay. And then let's plot it. Okay. You can see, class, that we have a time series. And this is stationary. Kasi, sabi natin ARMA no? ARMA. 0.7 at saka 0.4. Okay, clear so far, class? We're going to tweak this and we're going to add something here so that our time series is not anymore. We expect it to be like this, class. No trend, no seasonality, because we were simulating an AR process, an ARMA process. And we said, class, that an ARMA process necessarily has to be stationary. Okay, hindi pa pwede, class. Let's say, if I made this, let's say, greater than 1, kunyari 1.7, let's see what happens, class. No? Will this run? Control Enter. Okay, error siya, class. No? Bakit error? Kasi pag ARIMA class, ang fee class, diba, yung AR1 component cannot be more than 1 class, diba? Condition yan. Ito okay lang, class. Yung MA is equal to 0.4. Okay, but the AR class cannot be more than 1. Okay, Control Z. So I hope that's clear to you, no? Hindi pa pwede magka-ARMA process class kung yung AR component mo is greater than 1. All right. Okay. So let's add this now, class. Mag-add tayo ng trend. 0.5 times, so it's increasing by 0.05, no? Times 1 up to n. Okay, which means, class, that yung every ano natin, every observation, nag-i-increase tayo ng 0.05. Okay? Observation 1, magi-increase ng 0.05. Tapos si observation 2, magi-increase din ng 0.05. Okay? All right. Then we'll also add seasonality. I'm not sure if you discuss sa high school nyo yung sinusoidal function, yung sine function. Okay, but this is, class, this will now introduce seasonality. The sine function, class, appears as a sinusoidal curve. Ganyan siya. Ganyan siya, sine function, no? Or cosine function. So we're going to introduce trend plus also seasonality. Okay? So magkakaroon tayo ng trend and seasonality dun sa data natin. Okay. All right. So this is the amplitude or the height times the sine function, 2 pi, and then we multiply for each from 1, observation 1, 2, 3, up to 365, and divided by 7 for a 7-day cycle. No? Sa isang daily tayo, so every week, no? We could have divided it by 30 para monthly, kaso ano lang tayo 1 year lang di ba? So hindi makikita, class, kung monthly yung ano yung seasonality. So since daily data tayo tapos isang taon, maganda kung weekly natin gagawin yung seasonality. Okay, so ibig sabihin nag-a-adjust siya per week. So let's run this. And then, so let's now create our original series, no? Okay. It's now yung ARMA DF natin, yung stationary natin, plus trend plus seasonality. And then we do cumulative sum. Ibig sabihin ng class, the data will be added to itself, no? Day 1, tapos yung day 2, parang ina-add natin para tumataas yung data natin. And then plus 100, which means ito yung parang start value natin. Okay, if I did plus 200, then the starting value is 200. So yan, dinagay ko start at 100. All right, so let's run this, class. And then let's convert our data, yung original series natin, into a time series. Okay, tapos ilagay natin start 2024. Okay, so let's create this data, TS data. Okay, tingnan mo natin, class, yung original data natin. So here, class. I-plot natin ngayon. Let's get the head ng original series. Let's get the first 20. Okay. Tingnan yung, class, no? It goes up and then may baba siya, no? goes up. Okay. And then let's see, plot natin si original series. Okay. So medyo, okay. Okay, nagka-trend siya. Yung seasonality hindi masyadong apparent, no? Okay, anyway, let's continue. Let's convert this into a time series data. Kasi ngayon, ano pa lang siya, no? Yung vector pa lang siya. Okay, it's just a vector. Let's convert it into a time series data. All right, so where is now our TS data? Ito, no? It's a time series now. From 2024, ako, naging 2076. Baguhin natin to. But parang mali itong ano ko ah. Wait. Ano natin? I-correct ko na lang later on to class. No? Eh, ba't G? Oh no. Dali class ah. Nag-abort yung ano ko. Dali class. I'm sorry. Let me... So we now have our time series data, TS data. If you get the structure of this, STR, TS data. Okay, this is a time series. Now, I need to uh, mali ano nagawa ko siyang ano. Anyway, I'll just correct that. What's important is the plot of the data itself. So we can now use auto plot function of the TS data, and then let's put labels here. Let's plot now our data. Okay, so I wasn't able, hindi maganda yung ano class, yung sign function na ginamit ko. Okay, anyway, what's important is that it has a trend. Okay. So let's now check the stationarity, uh, if the data is stationary or not. Okay. So let's use the ADF test, augmented Dickey-Fuller test. Okay, if you take a look at the notes here, class, okay, I already provided the notes. Part 3 is stationarity test. So ARIMA requires that the data should be stationary. When we say stationary, it means that the data should have, let me, no trend. The data should be like this. It reverts back to a certain mean here. This is the average. At any point in time, if you get this structure here, get this period here, the average of the data remains constant. At this point, the average of the data is still here, class. Unlike if the data has a trend, class, so it's going like this. Okay, like this, class. It has a trend. So if you pick a certain point here, say here, the average of this period is around this one. It's no longer equal to this one. Okay. At this point, class, the average might be this one. It's no longer this one. Okay, so it's not constant. That's what we mean by constant trend and also constant variance. That's what we mean by stationary. What's constant variance, class? When we say constant variance, Okay, your data does not behave like this. So let's say this is a scatter plot of your data, and it appears that your data is fanning out. So across time, your data is increasing. So you can see that the variance is no longer constant. Okay, at this point, the dispersion is now very high. Here, the dispersion is only this amount. So this is what we call the fanning out phenomenon, or it can be fanning in. It's going this way, decreasing. So these two situations class indicate non-constant variance. Okay, non-constant variance, this is not constant mean. So if you have a data like this, okay, it can have a trend, and then it can also be non-constant variance. It can be moving this way class, like that. So across time, it's increasing, and then also the variance is not constant, it's increasing. So if it's like this class, then the data is not stationary, and we cannot create an ARIMA model out of this. Okay, it has to be that before you can create an ARIMA model, the data has, has to have both constant mean and constant variance. See, the variance is also constant. It's not fanning out like that. Okay, neither is it fanning in. Okay, so that's what we mean by stationary. Okay, so how do we test if the data is stationary? Definitely, class, this is not stationary. It has a trend, but the variance uh, it does not necessarily tell us that the variance is not constant, but definitely not constant. There's a trend, so not non-constant mean. Okay, so we can use the ADF test, where the null hypothesis is that it has a unit root. Having a unit root means it is not stationary. Okay, so if the p-value is less than 0.05, then we say that we reject this null hypothesis. It indicates that the data is stationary. There's another test, KPSS test, and it's the opposite of the ADF test. The null hypothesis is that it is stationary, unlike the ADF test. Okay, but generally you should have the same output. Okay. So I said here, for now, we will not take the log of the time series. We will reserve this when we use an asset, an ASTA. Okay, so let's run this class ADF test for our TS data. Okay, our alternative is that stationary. Okay, yun naman talaga, no? For the ADF test, the alternative is stationary. Okay, also for the KPSS test, okay, constant trend. So let's print both the ADF and the KPSS test. Let's run this. Oh, wait, huh? I have an error, sorry. Unused DAO. So I did not check. Wait, let's remove this class. Let's just use KPSS test. And still a warning with, okay na to, no? So for the ADF test class, what's the p-value? P-value is 0.99. So therefore, we fail to reject the null hypothesis that the time series is not stationary. Okay, also for the KPSS test, the p-value is 0.01. Okay, p-value for the KPSS test, 0.01, and the the null hypothesis for the KPSS test is that the time series is stationary. So in both counts, whether in ADF, augmented Dickey-Fuller, and KPSS test, it tells us that your time series, our TS data, is not stationary. Okay. All right. Let me pause. I know that I'm going quite fast, so I need to pause once in a while and check with you if you're able to follow. Okay, good. Thank you. How about the others? Okay, a few more seconds. So the augmented Dickey-Fuller test class, take note of the difference in the null hypothesis opposite, no, between the ADF and the KPSS test. KPS stands for Kwiatkowski. I don't pronounce kasi ang Phillips. I forget the four authors class of this test. So these are the names of four individuals who created this test, KPSS. Okay, so let's now move class. After determining that the time series is not stationary, then what do we do? Okay, we difference the data. If this was an asset class, a price, and we're going to do model the returns, then automatically class, what you do is to get the log and then get the log and then get the difference because that's equivalent to getting the continuous returns of the asset. Okay. So in this case, since we're not really, this is not, this is not, this is not uh, an asset class, a stock, then we're not, let's just not get the log. Okay. So after getting the stationarity test, then what's the next step, class? Let's now difference our data. Okay. Here. So let's create this diff data, which is the difference of your time series data. And let's just use log1. Control enter. Okay, and then let's plot our difference data. Control enter. Okay. What do you see now? Trend removed. Hindi pa. Right. Mm-hmm. Wait, class. Eh? We still have a trend. Difference value na. Kasi nag-cumulative sum ako kanina dun eh. Okay. I think I need, wait. Yeah, yeah. Jerilyn, please send your comment to everyone. Again, do not just send it to me. I think I made a mistake somewhere, class, no? Kasi, nag-difference na tayo, ganito pa rin yung ano natin. Okay, let me check this. Ito na naman. Okay, wrong code for me. Hmm. KPSS test class, we're rejecting, no? We are rejecting, class, the null hypothesis that the data is stationary. Kasi visually, class, tingnan natin to. Okay, I must, wait, class, sorry, ah. Engagement series, okay. Tama naman to. Okay. If we do a second differencing, okay, class. So, see, hindi pa siya stationary, no? Okay. Control V. Let me see class, magdi-differencing ulit ako ha. So we now have the diff data and it's still not stationary, di ba? May trend pa rin. So I'm going to do another differencing. I'm creating this object diff data 2 and I'm differencing the difference data. Or what it's the same as differencing the TS data, but the difference is 2. Okay, we can do that. It's okay. Let me see. I'll use the TS data and then make it the differencing to be 2. 2, and then this one will be diff data 2. All right. Second difference. This is now the second difference series. Okay, let's try this. Ayun. Second differencing. Okay. Okay, are you following class? I was so confident of when I created this kanina, no? Kahapon. When I created this, I was confident na tama yung sinusulat ko. Tapos, and then I was expecting that the differencing will already treat the, the trend. But in this case, it did not. No? So, nag-first differencing tayo, ayun pa rin siya. No? Hindi na treat yung ano. So, this tells us that sometimes, class, it's not enough to, to do first differencing. Sometimes it might need two differencing. So, pag ganyan class, if we model yung original na TS data natin, ang lalabas later on pag nag-auto.arima, PDQ yung D natin doon 2. Okay? Magiging 2 siya, 2 differencing. Okay. So, comment please class so far. Okay. How about the others, please? My mistake was I was so confident with what I was doing. I didn't even bother to run. So, medyo, kasi ilang beses ko na ginagawa to, no? So, parang I was so confident na first differencing lang, okay na. Pero ganun pa. Kaya taken na baka ako kanina. When I saw the plot, uy, hindi pa, hindi pa stationary. May trend pa rin. Okay, but again, may ano yan, may there's a remedy of course, no? Copy natin to class and check natin once again yung check natin yung kung ano na to, no? And we're using diff data 2, di ba? Diff data 2. Make sure you change the diff data into gawin natin itong 2 just to distinguish it from the ADF at saka KPSS diff kanina. Okay, let's run this. Okay, so what do we have? So we reject, kay ADF, we reject the null that the data is not stationary, alternative stationary. So okay tayo. Okay? So kay KPSS, okay? Ang null hypothesis stationary siya, p-value is 0.1, so we fail to reject that the null hypothesis that the data is stationary. So we're good. So stationary na tayo. Okay? All right, class. Kindly chat, please. If we're okay so far. Ang complication na lang nito, class, later on pag forecast, no? Kasi ang data class na ginagamit na natin is no longer the original data. It's not the original time series. It's already now the ano na siya yung double differencing na. Okay. Then the next step class is to, yes, Jerlane.
Sir,
Mm-mm.
sir, yung sa ano yun? KPSS level po, nung pangalawa.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Ang nasa akin po, sir, 0.016198.
0.016.
Opo.
Mm-hmm. Pinalitan mo ba yung KPSS mo? Ginawa mo tong 2?
Wait lang, sir. Opo.
Dapat 2 na, ah.
Opo.
Okay. Yung 2 mo, ginawa mong differences 2 dito?
Yes po, sir.
Sige nga, paki-share yung screen. Sige, thank
Okay
you.
po.
Stop share tayo.
Kita na po, sir.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Okay. Can you increase ano?
Ay, sige po. Wait lang, sir. Di ko po makita yung settings. Nakaharang yung ano ng
Yan,
Zoom.
okay na yan. Better. Okay, so sana yung ano, yung original
Yung
yan,
una
ano?
po.
So, yung pangalawa na.
Ito po. Sana yun? Ito,
Yan,
sir.
diff data to differences is equal to 2. Okay, tama yan. Tapos, ang autoplot natin, okay, tama na yung plot mo, no? And then down. Okay. KPSS diff 2. Tama naman. Diff 2. Okay. And then, ang lumabas na p-value mo, 0.1 naman, ah.
Opo, sir. Ito po, sir. Oh.
Hindi, yung p-value tingnan mo.
Wala po bang problema, sir, yung ito?
Hindi,
Kasi
hindi
yung sa
yan.
iyo po, sir, ano eh, iba yung value niya.
Okay lang kung yung level computation yun ng ano, ng statistic, no? Pero ang titingnan natin yung p-value.
Okay po.
Ano yung p-value yung 0.1, di ba?
Opo.
So it's greater than 0.05, therefore we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Ano yung null hypothesis ng ano ng KPSS test? That the time series is stationary.
Opo.
Okay? So baba ulit. Since the p-value is 0.1, so we didn't find any evidence that the time series is not stationary, no? So stationary yung time series natin. Ang titingnan mo, parang yung KPSS level, parang statistic yan, parang T-stat, parang F-stat yan, no? So KPSS, yung authors had a way of computing that and then kinonvert nila yung value na yan into a p-value.
Mm,
Okay? Ano ba yung Sige. Is that clear?
yes po,
Darlene?
sir.
Sige. Tingnan ko yung ano ko, yung KPSS level ko.
Okay po.
Sige. Thank you. That's a very good question. Okay. So, ang tinitingnan natin class ito dito, yung p-value, no? Here. Okay. So, iba nga yung ano, iba nga yung KPSS level ko, no? But what's important here is this one, the p-value. Okay? Ito yung titingnan natin. We don't really look at the KPSS stat, no? But rather the p-value. Okay, sige, good. All right. So let's now go to the next step class. Ano na tayo? Since stationary na yung time series natin, ano na yung we now go to the process of identifying kung anong process to. AR process ba to? Is this MA process? Is this ARMA process? But definitely this is a different series. Differenced, no? Twice differencing. So there are two ways to do this class. Either i-model natin yung original na time series natin, yung TS data, or i-model natin yung DF data 2 natin. Okay, DF data 2. Okay? So, let's start first with unahin natin yung ano, yung so this is the mathematical formula class for ACF and PACF. Okay? So first, ito na yung original data natin, ano? Right? So let's first compute for the ACF and the PACF class. Take note, si TS data, okay? Hindi stationary to, di ba? Si TS data. Kaya nga nag-difference tayo. So let's plot the autocorrelation function at saka yung partial autocorrelation function. Okay, ano ba yung purpose ng ACF at saka PACF? Yung ACF at saka PACF class, it's a measuring the correlation, and it's used to determine whether your time series has an AR component, MA component, or both. All right? So, kung ano siya, yung ACF class, ginagamit to in order to determine para malaman natin kung MA siya. So once again, si ACF class, it's used to determine if it's an MA process. Okay, if the ACF function cuts off after Q lags, and then magpapakita siya ng slow decay, okay? Then ano siya class? Ulitin ko Okay, MA class, MA. MA yung time series natin if sa ACF nagka-cut off siya. Okay, let me show that class. So this is our ACF. So this is log 1, log 2, log 3, log 4. Okay. So let's say log 1, ganito siya. Tapos meron dito yung Bennett bands, no? To indicate if significant yung correlation. Okay, let's say dito. This is your correlation class, yung row. And then ito, let's say class, this is 0.7. Okay. So significant at log 1. Tapos lagyan natin sa log 2 kunyari, significant din at say 0 point something. Okay, and then wala na, no? Yun lang significant. The rest are just very small correlations. No? So if your ACF shows a significant spike at lag 1, maybe, tapos siguro may lag 2 pa, tapos wala na, cut off na siya, wala nang significant class, then that could indicate that this is an MA process. Okay? I'm looking at the ACF. If on the other hand, yung ACF natin displays a slow decay ito, ang slow decay ganito yung class, no? Ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Kita natin na yung mga correlation natin, ganito yung itsura class, no? Ganyan. As against cut off. Cut off, isa lang or dalawa, depende. Tapos wala na. The rest are insignificant. Yung slow decay class, ganito. Makikita nyo yung mga lines ganyan, no? At different lags. So, slow decay siya. Yan. Gumaganyan siya. Malamang class, AR to. I'm talking class of the ACF, autocorrelation function. Okay. On the other hand, si partial autocorrelation function, baliktad class. Baliktad. Si PACF, it's used in order to determine if the time series is an AR function class. So if it just like sa MA, kung it cuts off at a certain lag class, then sa PACF, no, then malamang AR yan. Okay, so it's a bit class. Dati ganyan ginagawa namin. Wala pang auto.arima nun. No? So dati class, we will take a look at the ACF and the PACF in order to guess what the model is. Tapos i-compute namin. So, what will happen now is, ulit na naman. So, it's an iterative process na medyo matagal. Pero ngayong class, meron na tayong software kasi, meron tayong R, which automatically provides us kung ano yung model na yon. Okay? But, so, I just want you to understand, ano ba yung purpose ng ACF at saka yung PACF? So, ACF, autocorrelation function, and partial autocorrelation function are used in order to determine what type of process you have for your time series. Is it an AR process? Is it an MA process? Or is it an ARMA process? Okay, sabi nga dito yung PACF class, no? Identifies the AR process. The PACF cuts off after P lags. Just like yung kanina sa ACF, pag nagka-cut off siya after a few lags, ibig sabihin may significant, tapos significant, tapos wala na. Lahat ano na, nasa hindi na significant. Unlike yung isa, diba, slow decay siya. Okay? Alright, mas maganda kasi kung makita natin yan. So let's plot the ACF and the PACF of yung time series natin class na hindi stationary to, di ba, yung TS data. Okay, so let's partition our plots. A number of rows 2 by 2. So 2 rows, 2 columns. Let's run this. Okay, kanino to class, no? Okay. So this is indicative class. Tingnan nyo. Pervasive yung ano. Pervasive class yung itong ACF. Tingnan nyo. Correlated, oh. Correlated. Ito yung sinasabi ko class yung blue bands na to. This tells us kung yung correlation significant. Yan yung blue na yan. Yan. So pag ganito class, pag ganyan na talagang slow decay lang na ganyan, no? It's a signal class na hindi stationary yung time series natin. Pag ganyan yung plot natin. Whether ACF or PACF. Okay? So, i-plot naman natin class yung ito. Yung DF data natin, di ba ito, ano pa rin to may trend pa rin to, no? Then we will repeat this. Okay. Yun to class. Yung ACF niya, ganun pa rin, no? Okay? Ganun pa rin siya class. No? So pareho dun sa TS data natin kanina. So indicative to class na hindi stationary yung time series natin. Hindi natin mapoprocess yan class. And then lastly, tingnan natin to class yung nag-second differencing tayo. Control C, Control D. Kindly add this class. 2. 2. Yan. Okay? I-run natin to ngayon. I-plot natin. Okay. You can now see class the difference, no? ACF. Okay. So dito class, you can see na nagre-reverse lang siya, no? Positive, negative dito, negative correlation, then positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay, so this one class, medyo mahirap i-ano to. Sinasabi ko nga, mahirap talaga malaman sa just based on the ACF. Pero, we can see that it seems that possible MA to no? Kasi, ito we don't, ito class, itong one na to, ibig sabihin perfect correlation yan because it's zero lag. Tapos ito, may mga significant tayo and then nag-aano siya, nagpapalit positive, negative. So this can indicate that it's possibly an MA. Kasi ACF to, no? This is your ACF. And then take a look at your PACF. Ito class, significant, significant, and then cut na. Yung iba wala nang significant, no? Okay, this is totally different class from this one, ha? Yan, ha? Tingnan niyo to, talagang very, very slow decay, no? Pati dito, isa-isa dito. Ay, sorry. Okay? So it's a challenge really, class, to use the ACF and the PACF to determine the type of model that we're going to adopt, no? So buti na lang, class, may ano na tayo, meron tayong Autodot Arima. Okay, so first, let's do this, class. Let's now create a model. Ito, Autodot Arima, no? Yes, Jerry Lane?
Sir, sorry po. Nag-e-error po yung dun sa may original na data. Yung
Yes.
ACF po.
Sige, sige. Paki-share.
Sige po. Kita na po, sir.
Yes. Figure margins too large. Kailangan mo expand yung ano mo, no? Increase mo yung ano, yung width mo ng ano,
Alin po?
yung lawak. Kasi masyadong maiksi na yung ano mo. Kaya figure margins too large. Uh, Liitan mo yung console mo. Yan. I-move mo yan, i-move mo siya pa, yan. Sige, sige, sige pa. Lakihan mo. Lakihan mo yung nasa space ng ano mo. Sige, i-run mo ulit yung ano, yung sa taas. I-run mo ulit yung code mo. Sa taas. Sa taas.
Sige po.
I-run mo ulit. Sige. Ayan.
Okay,
Okay?
sir. Thank you po.
Ibig sabihin nung pag too wide lang, ibig sabihin, yung figure mo, wide yan eh. So, pag liniitan mo lang yung space, magaganyan message. Okay? But that's
Okay,
good. Thank
thank you
you.
po.
Thank you, Jerilyn, for that question. Kasi maybe the others also experience that. Okay? Thank you. Okay, good. Okay, so let's see. Let's now go here, class. Ito na. Dito na tayo. No? Mag-estimate na tayo. Okay. Good thing, class, may Autodot Arima. No? Yung Autodot Arima, class, ito yung ito yung nagsasabi sa atin na ano, class. This tells us, Autodot Arima will give us kung ano yung model natin, no? So, ang imo-model natin, class, yung diff. Sige, subukan mo natin itong, class, yung ano, yung diff data. Remember, class, this is still not stationary, di ba? Okay? So, sige, i-model natin to. Auto model. Run natin to. Okay, ang sinasuggest niya, okay, Arima 510. So, tinan nyo to, class, no? Yan, no? We are modeling yung diff data, no? Anong sinabi niya? Yung diff data, okay, you have to difference that. Take a look at this, class. Arima 510. Okay? I hope you understand what this is, class, no? Sabi niya, i-difference mo pa yan kasi hindi pa stationary yan eh. O, palitan natin to, class, ng ano. Let's replace this with TS data. Di ba yung TS data, hindi siya stationary, right? Okay? So if we run this, okay, tingnan nyo, class, no? Arima 520. Ibig sabihin ng, class, yung TS data natin, you need to difference that 2 times. Okay? After you difference that 2 times, ito na yung parameters natin, AR5. So medyo iba siya dun sa ano, class, ano? Dun sa, kasi nagsimula tayo, ano lang eh, phi is equal to 0.7 at saka yung MA 0.4 natin. Kaso, dinagdagan na natin siya ng trend. Dinagdagan din natin ng seasonality component. So, naiba na talaga yung time series natin. But if we do control Z, diff data 2, class, gamitin natin diff data 2. Yung dinifferentiate natin ng twice, no? Tingnan natin kung ano yung model natin. Yan, class. Arima 500 na. Bali, AR. So, ibig sabihin ng, class, yung diff data 2 natin, no need to differentiate, class. Kasi stationary na siya eh. And then this is our model, AR1, AR2, AR3, AR4, AR5, etc. Tapos may mga components dito. Okay, so Control-Alt-I. Ay, time na pala. Last na muna to, class, na ito. Papihalan natin to. C. Palitan natin to class ng replaces with trace is equal to 2. Again nga, trace is equal to 2 class. Tapos tingnan natin what will happen to our diff2 model. Okay. Pag sinabi natin trace is equal to 2 class, it will provide different models. It will provide different models. Ayan. Okay? First, i-approximate niya, no? Naghahanap siya ng mga models class na pwedeng maging model para dun sa diff data 2 natin. And then, magre-refit siya, hahanapin yung best model, and it turns out class, tingnan nyo to, no? Iba na naging final model class. Okay? Tapos may 7 dito. Ano ibig sabihin nito class? This indicates class that ito, ang model natin AR1 plus MA1. ARMA yun, 101, no? Wala nang differencing, di ba? Kasi diff data to yung ginagamit natin. Okay? Tapos meron pa dito, 210, ano to? Class. Tapos 7. This class is now your seasonal component. Okay? Kaya itong model na to class, ang tawag dito, Sarima. Okay? Sarima siya, hindi siya Arima lang, no? So it's a special type of may S, Sarima class. This one is your regular Arima, okay? Hindi ko makitaan. Wait, ha? Clear ko muna. Yan. This one class is your Arima. This is your Sarima. Tapos ang seasonality 7. Di ba naalala nyo, nag-divide tayo ng 7? So their seasonality, okay, every 7 days. Okay, kasi if you recall, yung sign function natin, nag-divide tayo ng 7 eh. Kasi daily data to accommodate yung mga differences on yung per day, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Okay. And then with drift, no? We'll explain next time kasi time na, no? So ito yung model natin, class. Yan. Okay, so y sub ang magiging model natin, class, iba na, no? Difference na to. Difference 2. Kasi 2 times natin difference, no? Is equal to so yung drift natin yung constant to, negative 0.0003 plus, okay, plus negative 0.6650 times y sub delta 2 y sub t minus 1. Delta squared y sub t minus 1. Ito. Log 1 to eh. Diba? Tapos, then, plus epsilon sub t. Meron pa palang to, no? Yung SAR pa. Ito. Paano to, class? Negative 0.3309. Tapos, ano to? Delta 2 y sub t minus 7 class. Ito t minus 7 to, class. Para sa seasonal differencing kasi 7 class. Okay? Tapos ito naman plus 0.8404 epsilon, no? Epsilon t minus 1, okay? And then minus 0.3309 epsilon t minus 7. So yung mga seasonal ano natin, class, seasonal differencing class, yung SAR 1 natin at saka SAR 2, Ay, sorry, sorry. Mali. Okay. Sorry class, SAR to ah. So this should be, ito yung MA component, no? Yung SAR 1 is T minus 7. SAR 2 will be T minus 14. Okay? Kasi two logs na tayo class ng seasonal. Yung seasonal 7, no? Eh, dalawang log ng 7. Diba? Ito, yung 2 na to. Tapos, dinifference pa rin to ng 1, no? Okay. So, it's already way past time pa, sorry. So, let me add